He was my best friend. He was my partner in crime. He was my world. And I was completely in love with him. And who could blame me, right? It sounds like I've just described the perfect man. But there was a downside. He used to explode with temper. And it wouldn't just be a regular... He would actually turn into a human volcano. And his face didn't turn just red, it went purple. And he'd slam his fists on the nearest surface he could find, and all the items would leap into the air. And I was frozen with fear. And because we'd spent all this time together, and because we were inseparable, and because I was so young, I just thought it was my fault. I was responsible for making him angry. Therefore, I was bad. And I'd spend all my time trying to predict what would make him angry and try and steer us away from this situation so I'd be safe. Unfortunately, there was another side to him. He has undiagnosed dyslexia, and unsurprisingly, I'm dyslexic. So the so-called weaknesses he saw in me, he saw in himself, he saw in me. So when he used to roll his eyes at me in contempt, when he used to explode if I got a question wrong, or when he went behind my back and talked about me to other people, I thought it was because I was stupid. I thought it was because I was disgusting. I thought it was because I was unlovable. And the only thing I could do was to shut myself off from my feelings, from my body, and escape into my imagination, because it was the only safe place I could be. But this environment was created by a man who was everything to me. I was just so confused. Went to school, and as I said, I've got dyslexia. I've also got dyspraxia and ADD, but they weren't diagnosed until much later, and I got left behind. They put me in remedial school. I was put to the back, sat at the back of the class. I couldn't even see the board because I've got really short eyesight. And as I progressed through school, things at home got significantly worse. It was almost as though all this ambition and the feeling that my dad had about his feeling of failure and feeling of feeling stupid became active. It was like an active volcano, and it's just like the Wizard of Oz dictator. He set the conditions for this kind of intellectual, academic, Olympic race with me and my brother, and it all became about hierarchy, control, who did better, who did worse, competition, trying to attain this perfection all the time and trying to prove to the world how clever we were / he was. And none of this was intentional. He just wanted to give us what he never had. But the atmosphere was crippling, and I was the one that was failing. And the cast, it was like the cast had already been set. So the more my confidence dropped, the worse I did. And it didn't matter that my brother was nearly a year older than me when it came to exams, because I'm an August baby. And it didn't matter that my brain works differently to his. In my parents' eyes, he was cleverer than me, and there was nothing I could do about it. And the frustrating thing is that I knew how much potential I had, but I didn't have access to the conditions and the help that I needed in order to thrive and reach my potential. And I just I unconsciously built walls up around me to stop the pain from reaching me. And I actually turned to food as a form of control, because if I couldn't control anything else, at least I could control what was going inside or not inside my own body. So I became really, really thin. Some might call it anorexic, but anyway, I got into Leeds University and I did psychology, discovered beer, so that kind of so-called anorexia got sorted out pretty quickly. And then I came down to London and I worked really, really hard. I had a really good time. I started working in the film, later in the TV industry, and later as a creative producer for a creative agency. But I couldn't ignore this ball of anxiety that was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I quit my job. And what does everybody do when they're lost? I go to India. Of course I bloody go to India. And I have an incredible time. And of course I nearly went insane on a 10-day silent retreat. But did I find myself? No. No, I did not. But there was one piece of reflection that a friend of mine gave to me which changed my life. I remember it was coming up to the end of my trip after 3 months, and I was yearning to find my soulmate over there. And I remember linking arms with a friend of mine, and we were at a wedding, and we were literally circulating the entire wedding looking for guys, looking for my soulmate. And the reflection that I got back from the friend of mine, the mutual friend, was that, Helen, you're really friendly, and you're a lovely person, but you're so unapproachable and you're so cold. And I just thought, what the fuck? Here am I, with my heart out, hanging on my sleeves, and I'm coming across as cold. I just couldn't get that reflection out of my head.